This is Underground Opera. Hey everybody, welcome to Undergroundopolis. It's that time again. And I tell you, you guys are in for a treat tonight, but we'll get to that here in a second. I just want to bring up my buddy Buckshot George's music trivia night at the Hitchin' Post Tavern, 7314 Fagenbush Lane in Louisville, Kentucky on Tuesday nights. And another quick local announcement is Undergroundopolis presents an evening with Proles, Thursday, June 15th at 21st in Germantown, 1481 South Shelby Street, Louisville, Kentucky. $5 admission, cheaper than a bottle of poppers. And if you haven't seen these guys, like, they're amazing. They're really just, they're really, really great. Like when I brought them last time, what was it, in February? I think it's in February I brought them out, and maybe in March, but I got them down there, and even the sound guy who I've known for years, and he's ran sound for a million bands. He leaned over, he goes, "Dude, these guys are freaking awesome." I was like, "Yeah, I know." and the bartender, which is it's not unusual for Zoe to walk back to the back room and check out the band. She's a music fanatic, but when I went up before I was leaving, she stopped me. She's like, "Oh my God, where did you find these guys?" So they will be returning. They're getting the whole night to themselves. Proles, Proles. They've got a Facebook page, Instagram, all that, if you want to check them out, because they're very incredible live band, and really happy to have them back. And just a couple more episodes, and I'm going to take a little vacation, because sometimes you just got to check out. Man, between this last mini run of shows in Sandusky and Covington, Kentucky, Princeton, Indiana, here in Louisville tonight, I'm forgetting some places, but anyway, you get the gist of it. And doing this podcast and everything else I'm doing, I'm going to take a break, take a little time off work, and I'm going to take a little break. And I know you all are so disappointed that I'm going to take a little time. You won't get to see this pretty face or hear my beautiful voice for a couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm going to check out for a little bit. I might not even be on Facebook, but who knows? Tonight, I'm going to bring my guest right on. Tell us who you are, where you're from.
Hey, what's up? My name is Kevin. I am the guitar player from Speedfreak out of Chicago, Illinois. Rob, thanks for having me, man.
Man, I'm really, really great to have you, because we're going to talk about Doomsday Devices right off the bat.
Sweet.
Who came up with the line "quarter life century"? Because that's brilliant.
Oh, that was our singer. He had a quarter life crisis. That's something he had said.
Quarter life crisis.
Yeah, he likes that. He was kicking that around for a while before it made it into the song, for sure.
I love that. As you go through your quarter life crisis, that's a great line, man. Now tell me, you got a video for it too, don't you?
Yes.
Tell us about the video.
So the video that was put together by a Chicago filmmaker, a really good friend of ours by the name of Zane Rarick. He actually came up with the idea for that. He heard the track and was like, it'd be cool if we kind of played off, Doomsday Devices, like the old school 50s nuclear scare kind of stuff. And that's where that idea for that video came from. So he really put that together. We're not creative enough to have come up with something like that on our own. So I was happy he was able to do that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a fun song. Now, you have an album out already, right?
Yeah,
full length.
Fast Lane Livin. Yeah, it came out last year, finally, and so Doomsday is the single off of that.
Well, do you have it available on vinyl or cassette?
So
or CD?
It's available cassette and CD on order from our Bandcamp, but not vinyl yet. I don't know if any of your listeners try to print their own vinyl for whatever the reason. It takes forever to get vinyl. I don't know if it's because of shipping delays or something. So there is vinyl coming. It's just not available just yet.
Oh, cassette's cool.
Yeah, there you go.
I've got a huge cassette collection, man. I still got my Easy E cassette from back in the day of all.
Nice. Nice. I was gonna wear my White Sox hat actually, and I grabbed the Bears one instead. So
maybe I should list that thing on eBay or something, see what it would go for. But I don't want to let go of it either. That's like my prized possession in my collection is my Easy E Easy Does It cassette.
Hey, that's awesome.
Well, since it is my show, we are going to talk about some of my favorite songs that I've heard from you guys.
Okay.
One being Full Throttle. Tell me about Full Throttle, the story behind it.
Full Throttle is actually, we wrote that quite a few years ago. So to give a little backstory on this record, we actually went to the studio and recorded it in 2019. And when, we were getting ready to do our release for it, and then the pandemic happened. And so everything kind of got pushed back. I'm sure it was the same with you guys. So that song is actually, we've been playing it live for a couple of years, but yeah, we wrote that, there's no, how do I want to say this? Not a lot of hidden messages in our songs, right? We're just four dudes. We like to party. We want to drink beer and drive fast and, just have a good time. And that's kind of what Full Throttle is about.
It's a fun song. And which one? Oh, White Knuckle Fever. I kind of want to meet your drummer from that.
Yeah, that's our drummer Dave Horniak joined. He was the most recent member to join the band. That was about 5 years ago, maybe. And so White Knuckle is actually one of the last tracks we wrote for that record, and that's a great song. Yeah, and he just rides that double bass the whole time. It's a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, there is an art to the double bass. It's not just the machine gun effect. I know the difference. I'm a bass player, and I've worked with so many drummers in the past that look at me and go, they look at me and grin like they're doing something badass, and I'm like, you're not really doing anything that difficult for a drum,
right?
Really for a drummer. But this guy's an artist with it. I can tell he's really excellent drummer. I listened to that song 2 or 3 times today alone. I was like, yeah, I like this drummer here.
You got to have that groove, right? Like, its speed is nothing if you don't have that feel. Right. And I think he's definitely got that. So. Oh
yeah. And my other favorite song, Baptized in Gasoline.
Man, so that song. Yeah, I wrote that song a long time ago. And really? I had broken up with somebody, and I was driving to Nashville, just like the song says, and just coming up with these lyrics. And yeah, that's a Speedfreak classic. We've been playing that one for a couple of years. That's a lot of fun to do, that song.
So how long have you all been together? You're pretty you said your most recent member's been in there 5 years. That's pretty stabilized. That's a pretty stabilized band.
Yeah. But the singer and I, Tom, we've been together since high school. We've been jamming, we've been buddies for, Jesus, I don't even want to tell you how many years. It's a lot of years now since high school. But we really haven't been kind of serious about the band until, maybe it's been a few years. So like I said, we went through a couple of drummers, and then Dave was the most recent member to join. And so since he's joined, we really kind of started, taking him seriously, kind of gotten our act together. So I guess, to give you so Tom and I have been together, forever, since high school. But I would say if you want to think about this iteration of this band, we've been together since maybe 2016, 2017, something like that.
Wow. Yeah, it's a good run, especially if you not have that revolving door, which it seems like at first you always do.
Of course, yeah.
And of course, when you make a commitment, like making a commitment to Pavement, which you have, most bands go through a lot of lines when they make that kind of commitment. All of a sudden, and a lot of people just don't know this. It's like when you make that commitment, and people start realizing you're gonna make it somewhere in music by doing this commitment, but you got to do a lot of hard work.
Oh, yeah.
And they start realizing what it takes to get what this commitment they just made, and they start bailing. It seems like that doesn't seem to have happened with you guys, huh?
No, I mean, it might have with some of the previous band members, right? But the guys that we have now, we're all pretty serious about it. we're all pretty focused. And so like, have we had band members before that didn't care? Sure, of course, right? We've gone through 4 drummers before we landed Dave, a couple of bass players. I mean, there's always,
Yeah.
you play, what it's like. There's always one guy who's in it just to get, messed up or meet girls or whatever, but you got to really like what you do.
Yeah. Yeah. But of course, it is kind of cool to meet girls.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd be lying if that wasn't part of it for sure.
I think it's Gene Simmons says you don't play music with your heart, you play music with your dick.
Yeah. That's good.
King Gene, I think he was talking to Bruce Kulick and telling him, because Bruce is playing with all this feeling. He's like, quit that. Quit playing with your heart. Start playing with your dick.
Makes sense for sure.
It does, man. Oh, you've probably played a lot of shows at this time, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, we've been gigging, like I said, since forever.
Yeah.
I played I don't know how many shows, and most of them have been kind of in and around bands and around the Chicagoland area. So, been playing a lot.
Do you have a favorite show story you could share with us?
Ooh, so last July we got to open for Crowbar, which was awesome.
Oh yeah,
that was a lot. That was a great show. So it was them and Spirit Adrift and one more band, and their name escapes me, but that was a great bill. And one of the great things about being a band in Chicago is like we're a major city, right? So everybody comes through here when they're on tour, so we get a lot of chances to like A, go to a lot of shows, and B, maybe even jump on a lot of bills and meet these bands. So Crowbar was pretty cool, man. That was you see Kirk Weinstein up there, sharing his stage playing. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive for Crowbar, man.
I mean, we played some terrible shows. Also, we played backyard barbecues. We played a show once at this bar. I don't think it's there anymore. During a thunderstorm, and I remember playing and like the roof started leaking. I mean, played a bunch of crap shows to 5 people, or either bands and their girlfriends or whatever. But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, those shows are fun too. It seems like I get a lot of those shows sometimes. Bands playing for other bands, it's like, which isn't bad, but it's like,
it's part of it, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes and you make a lot of friends like that. It's sometimes you get to see a really great band play, like without a huge crowd getting in your way. So that's been cool too.
Yeah. We played the other night. Was it Friday night at the Southgate House in Covington, Kentucky, which is a really great venue. It's really, really cool. And come to find out, the band we went on second. The band after us was opening for, I don't know if you remember Nashville Pussy.
Sure.
Yeah, he was there. They've opened for them anytime Nashville Pussy comes to Cincinnati, they're like, they have them open as like, and of course, nobody knows who we are. It was like, so it was good to get on bill with this band because a lot of people do, they brought a pretty good crowd in. And so did the opening band. We got stuck right in the middle, which I was spoiled on that. Two popular Cincinnati area bands putting us in the middle. It's like, damn, that was sweet of you guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, like that's kind of because you don't want a deadline, right? You don't want to be the last band when everybody goes home. Like halfway to your set, you don't want to be the first band if people are still showing up. So it sounds like you guys got the sweet spot there.
We did.
Yeah.
Do you see a tour in the future?
We're actually hitting the road in August. We're going to do some dates with Texas Hippie Coalition.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so that's going to be a lot of fun. We're doing I don't know how many shows. We're I think basically heading to Seattle and back with them for a couple of weeks in August. And then we're looking at booking some other stuff around the Midwest. So definitely keep an eye out. Louisville, if that's a fun, or the Covington area, if that's a cool place to come down, we'll definitely try and get something going down there. But yeah, we're anxious to take this thing on the road for sure.
Yeah. Are you going to be on the road with Seven Stones? Any?
I don't think so. I think they're actually the leg before us of the same. So it's the same Texas Hippie Coalition tour. I think they're going to drop off right before we jump on. So
okay,
they might be keeping the seat warm for us. I don't know.
that would be cool to see you all together, though. I just interviewed them.
Those guys are badass. I mean, yeah, all the band said. Texas Hippie Coalition. I mean, Texas Hippie Coalition is great. So any band that opens for them, we try and check out too. Just right, it's all the same kind of music, so it's awesome.
I like them too, man. First time I heard them, I was a manager in a Golden Corral, and it was like a nice Golden Corral, not one of the ghetto ones. And I would sneak the Sirius station, or not the Sirius station, over to metal later on in the night, and pissed off and mad about it came on, and I run into the office to see who the hell this band is. Texas
yeah.
It just came out, and like it was later at night when it was kind of dead, but then a bunch of people walked in, and there just was pissed off and mad.
Nice.
And
I remember
I didn't have time to change the station to something more appropriate.
No, yeah,
either.
Definitely didn't have time. Yeah, they're awesome, man. I remember we opened for them once before in Chicago, but that might have been 7, 8, 9 years ago already. But that we used to catch them every time they came through town. And those guys, I'm really excited to play with them again. Those guys are awesome, and they just had a new record drop too, so pretty exciting.
Yeah. Has there ever been a time you've bombed on stage that you'll share a story with us about?
Yeah, a few years ago, we played a show in a town called Antioch, Illinois, which is right on the Illinois-Wisconsin border, so just north of Chicago. And I don't remember. I mean, like you just have a kind of a bad vibe about the whole thing. And I don't remember what it was, but we get done playing. It's in some bar, and we play the first song, and it's like crickets, right? Everybody's just looking at you, and you're like, shit, like this guy. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on here or not, but you just know. You're like, this is gonna be a long gig. And I think I want to say it was summer, and I forgot. For whatever the reason, I forgot a pair of jeans, and so I'm up there wearing shorts, like a jerk. I mean, it was just the whole thing was embarrassing. You couldn't get out of there fast enough, And then we played, and I'm like, all right, thanks, goodbye. But besides that, like I've broken strings, we've fallen over. I spilled beer into my amp once, and my amp exploded on me at a gig a few years ago. Yeah.
That's an awesome one.
We were opening for this band from Canada called the Motor League, and we didn't really, you get there early, you meet all the other bands and stuff, so we're hanging with them. And I remember they're from Canada, right? So at the time, the Blackhawks were real good. So it's like, oh, did you guys come down here, see some real hockey? And they're like, oh yeah, fuck, yeah, you guys, I give me a bad time. But so we're playing, and I, spill my beer all over my amp, it shorts out. And then the guitar player from the Motor League actually is like, hold on, show's not done, and he ran out and got his combo amp and brought it up on stage for us to finish the set. So that was really cool, those guys,
That was really cool.
Yeah, but definitely, we probably played more, I wouldn't say bad shows, but shows where something bad happens, definitely.
That's one of my favorite questions.
It's a good one.
Here's a tough one. If you could work with any producer, who would that be?
Ooh.
I love the tougher questions.
Yeah, I mean, so the guy who did our record, Andy Legis, was awesome. I would say I'd like to work with maybe like somebody like a Rick Rubin, just to hear the stories of the other bands he's worked with, right? Because you always want to be like, all right, well, shit. Tell me about Kerry King's guitar tone, right? Like, how did he do this? I want to do that kind of thing. But it'd be cool to work with somebody like that.
Yeah. I've heard of your producer from another band that's on the show. I'm not sure which band, but I think I've heard it a couple of times actually. So he must do really. I mean, the album sounds amazing. It's well produced. Like, but he must.
He did a great job. Yeah, he really, he's got a studio in Chicago. And so, like I said, this was early 2019, or maybe around this time of year, 2019, when we actually recorded it. But he really kind of grabbed the reins and put together our tones, and he really was great. He helped us arrange the songs a little bit. Could not have asked for a better studio experience with him. He was awesome.
So, what's your favorite song personally to perform live?
So we always open with Full Throttle. I think it's just because it's like it starts off with that 1, 2, 3, 4, and you just kind of jump into it. So I always like doing that. It gets you warmed up. I love doing White Knuckle live because it's so, it's such a great song to play if you can get in that groove. Baptized in Gasoline is always fun because it's a little bit on the slower side. So it's a nice kind of break. Yeah, but the truth is that, we played, I enjoy playing all of our music, right? I mean, that's why we wrote it. There's nothing that I hate playing or can't stand playing or anything like that.
Really? Not yet.
Not yet. Right. Not yet. Yeah. Maybe after we play another 1,000 shows or something, but yeah.
I've got a couple that I wish I didn't have to play, but they're like, there's a song I got. It says my songs are funny. And it's called, it's just a shameless self plug here. It's called Nobody Spanks Like a Nun. And it's,
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm so sick of playing it, but it's the one song that everybody associates me with always. And who was it I was talking to? I think Fritz from Whiskey Dick. He said, I don't know if you don't know who they are. Or
yeah, I sure do. Hang on one second. What do we got here? My Whiskey Dick trucker hat. Oh yeah, those guys are hilarious.
He said, "Well, as much as you hate to play it, get ready to play it for the rest of your day."
Yeah,
because we were talking about Wookiee pussy.
Oh, sounds hairy.
It's a hilarious song. Well,
yeah, we did it used to be an Illinois metal festival called Beeman Fest, and we played it with Whiskey Dick, and this would have been 2015 maybe. So those guys put on a great show, man. That was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, they used to go around with Pantera and stuff.
Oh yeah,
at one time, yeah, like they were tight with them. Well, I hate to do this, but we're getting close to that time. You got anything you want to add in before we wrap it up?
Nothing crazy, but just please everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for checking me out. Check out Speedfreak. We're on Spotify. Check out our Bandcamp. We're on all your major social media things, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, and hopefully, this summer we'll see you at a show.
Thank you for being my guest. And if you like this video, please be sure to subscribe, ring the little bell, or follow on Spotify or whatever streaming platform you hear this on. Links to everything Speedfreak will be in the description of this video. And I'm your host, Rob Lyons, signing off.